Hi everybody, Father Caleb Vogel here. Just a few Easter thoughts. First though, before thought, Happy Easter. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. I hope you're enjoying the Easter octave. As Catholics, we celebrate the Easter octave, which is 8 straight days of feasting. The Easter is such a big feast that we can't fit it all in justice in one day. So we celebrate Easter Sunday for 8 straight days. So from Easter Sunday all the way till next Sunday, the Divine Mercy Sunday, we celebrate the octave. So eat, drink, and be merry. We're meant to be festive and joyful. So let's do that. Let's be joyful. Let's be examples of celebration and joy, because our faith is rooted in the resurrection. That means that's everything for us. Because Jesus rose from the dead as he said he would. And if he rose from the dead as he said he would, what else did he say would happen? See, that's why we put our faith in Jesus. He said he would rise from the dead. He said he would be betrayed, suffer, die, and rise on the third day. And he did. Like, can you name anybody else who made that proclamation and fulfilled it? Wow. So if that was true, then what else did he say? And that's the gospel. That's why we read the gospels and we follow the gospel, the teaching of Jesus. Now, some folks would say, yeah, but how do we know that the resurrection really happened and all that kind of stuff? That's a fair question. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. As Catholics, we like to ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. So we believe in the resurrection because eyewitnesses saw it and have passed on that information. Eyewitnesses saw the resurrection and passed it on, namely the apostles, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of Jesus, and many others, right? The scriptures are clear. Many people witnessed the resurrection and passed it on. And you'd say, but maybe they were just making up a story and passing it on. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think the apostles would die a torturous death for something they really didn't believe happened? All of the apostles died martyrs. Basically, hey, just deny he rose from the dead and you don't have to go through with his death. But none of them would, nor the Christians after them. Just think about that. That's a pretty powerful thought. What would you be willing to die for? Would you be willing to die for just a belief system that you didn't really believe to be true? Really? But it calls into question the whole idea of faith and what we believe. See, I believe the resurrection to be trustworthy. And here's what I mean by that. Most everything that I believe based upon the testimony of somebody else. I believe most things because somebody else who I believe to be a credible witness or who has seen or done something has told me. They've told me that. There's many things that I believe that I myself have not seen with my own eyes or experienced myself. Okay? Many things. For example, black holes. Have any of you ever seen a black hole? Do you believe black holes exist? The vast majority of people have never seen one. But we believe in black holes. Why? Because reputable scientists have discovered them and tell us that. Even they don't have photographs of them. It's all mathematical, astrophysical equations. Do you believe it? So do you believe in black holes? Based upon what? Have you seen one? If you really think it through, why do you believe that? Well, you might say, well, black hole, do you believe it or not believe it? At the end of the day, you're making a choice to put your faith in that scientist because you believe that scientist to be telling the truth. Another question would be if someone came to you and said, I have you and your whole family captive and all of you will die unless you say you deny that black holes exist. Would you be willing to do that? Now, I'm being kind of silly here, but it's still the point. That's the point. What are you willing to die for? Do you really believe this to be true? If you've never seen it and it's just something you were told, would you really believe it? There's lots of things that I've come to believe, but in the end, I'm just putting my trust in somebody else. For example, is coffee good for you or bad for you? Are eggs good for you or bad for you? Every day there's a new scientific study saying one or the other. So which one is it? Are eggs good for you or are they bad for you? Is coffee good? How about red wine? Is red wine good for you or is it bad for you? Is it? In the end, you have to make a decision about who you're going to trust and who you're going to believe. I believe in the resurrection of Jesus because people who were there witnessed it. Jesus, first of all, said he would rise from the dead, and he did. And there are many witnesses who experienced that event, saw him risen from the dead, experienced time with him as a resurrected being, the divine Lord, the divine Son, and then we have been passing that faith on. That's believable. Why not believe it? Here's why many people don't. Because if you believe in the resurrection, then you have to believe the other things Jesus said. Because if I believe the rest of what Jesus says, means I have to believe the gospel. And the gospel is a whole way of life. And that's what I want to invite all of you into, is into an Easter way of life, where we submit our lives to Jesus. Because I could believe in black holes or not believe in black holes, but that doesn't change how I live my life. That really doesn't change how I live my life. Whether or not I believe coffee or wine or eggs are good or bad for me, that has an impact on my life, but not a fundamental impact in my life. But if I believe that Jesus is risen from the dead and he is who he says he is, the divine Son of God, that does impact my life, because he said by believing in him, I will have eternal life. His death forgives me of my sins. And then that I have been incorporated by faith and baptism into union with the Blessed Trinity and the church. That does affect me. And I have responsibilities by being a part of this church. So that does change things. That's why Jesus is the biggest deal out there, and why faith in him makes a big, big, big deal. We're not talking about just whether or not aspartame in Diet Coke is bad for you or not, or causes cancer or not. That's not what we're talking about. Those are real things. But we're talking about the big deal. Folks, it's Easter. He's risen. God love you. And let's stay connected.